starting off we have shade 34 Chai Apricot. This is described as being a beige brown color or a beige coral shade. It's also labeled as a seasonal spring warm tone shade. My seasonal color is light spring and soft autumn, so this is something that's around my palette. Surprisingly, it does apply a little bit more on the light side, kind of like a sheer coral beige color, and then it does deepen a bit. Once it oxidizes, it kind of looks like this tangerine coral color on the lips. It has a semi-mute, semi-brightening effect, but overall it's not too bright. Looking at the promotional pictures, it does look quite similar. For the full look, it is deepened a bit to be a little bit more mute and dark. Sort of this coral beige color with tangerine undertone, so it is more of a warm tone shade. For some reason, this can look a little bit orange under some certain lightings. It's a very nice glossy finish. Let's go with the transfer test. Alright, so here's some hand comparisons. At the bottom is Chai Apricot, on top of that is Pomelo Skin, Coral Chemistry, and then Nucademia. I think overall it has a very similar muteness as Nucademia. For Chai Apricot, it does have less pink in it and more orange. So the undertone is more of a tangerine color, whereas for Nucademia, it does have more of this pink brown color. Pomelo Skin has more beige in it, less orange, a little bit more light and more mute. It's not as warm as well. And then for Coral Chemistry, it is a lot more light. And here's the stain. You can see that it does have a very orange-like stain. Next up, this is 35 Earl Grey Lychee, or Lychee. This is described as being a warm tone fall shade, and it's a rosy beige color. It is more on the mute side, sort of like a neutral, slightly warm tone shade. That's what it seems like. Again, similar to the promotional picture as well. Compared to Chai Apricot, this one has a little bit more rosiness to it. A very beautiful MLBB rosy brown. It does have a slight mauve pink color to it, so you have this like mauve, like a rosy mauve pink. I thought this was going to be a cool tone, but it's actually warm tone. Also described as a fig brown shade. So Earl Grey Lychee is at the bottom, Bare Grape, Mulled Peach, and then Almond Rose. For Bare Grape and Almond Rose, they do tend to look a little bit more cool tone. For Earl Grey Lychee and Mulled Peach, they look very similar to each other in muteness and shade. Not a big difference with Mulled Peach. Maybe the slightest difference would be that it's slightly more bright than Mulled Peach. Mulled Peach is a little bit more mute, slightly more mauve than Mulled Peach. For today's pick, I'm gonna have to go with 35 Earl Grey Lychee just because Chai Apricot was a little bit too warm tone. It does have a little bit too much orange for me as well. Earl Grey Lychee is kind of like an in-between of Mulled Peach and Bare Grape. Not much of a difference with Mulled Peach except it's slightly more rosy, but they're kind of like a gradient of each other. That's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.